Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to restarting Streamlabs killed my camera. So many good things. There we go. Don't even ask. Don't even ask. It's my fault entirely. I don't know what I did, but I know that I did. How's that? It's the Ambien defense. I don't know what I did to merit whatever happened, but I know that I definitely 100% did it. Okay? I plead no contest. My Alford plea. I didn't do it, but they got enough facts to say that I did it. So there you go. Hey, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. With me today is some Milo's tea, a little bit of time, and all of you fine people watching at home. We're gonna do a couple things today. We're gonna do some Ace Attorney in a little bit. We're gonna kick on the old Ace Attorney, and I'm gonna do offensive, racially insensitive voices, probably. I should do them. That's what I should do for the next case. I should pick stereotypically offensive racial voices and apply them to the wrong races in the game. That would be good. We could try that sometime. No. We're gonna do Ace Attorney. I'm gonna try and get through this last case of the first game. I think, I don't know where we are in it, but the case of the Steel Samurai. And these things only get longer. That's what she said. But yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do something else. What else are we gonna do? Why isn't the vault door closed? Oh well. We're gonna ignore that. We're going to talk about, before that, we're gonna talk about the GoFundMe. And we are going to we're gonna update and increase the goal on the GoFundMe. I don't know if you guys have seen. I don't know if you've seen the Twitter law meltdown, the CLICKB meltdown over the GoFundMe. It's literally going through the stages of grief as we speak. Some of them have reached denial. Some of them are in acceptance. Many of them are dealing with it, attempting to, through humor. Like, lol, I totally don't even care. Lol, I'm gonna donate. Lol, it'd be so funny if I donated to help out Monica and Jamie and Toye. Lol. There's that. There's the we don't even care. Like, there's the 200,000. That's not even that much money. That's not much money. Nope, not at all. That's it's basically nothing that they've done. Yeah, all of that. It's great. It's lovely. They're progressing through definable stages of loss as the GoFundMe hits. So we're gonna increase it tonight. I'm gonna do it live on the show. It's sort of live, right? I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm gonna take it off the screen because I can't show you my inside infos, all of the elite insider knowledge that I have, that they definitely want to depose out of me. I wouldn't want to make that public, because then whatever defenses I might have would go away or what. But I'll take it off this. I'll put it on the screen. We'll adjust it, or take it off the screen, adjust it, and put it back on. I did make an update to the GoFundMe, so I'll probably read that, because I don't know how many people see these updates and stuff like that. But we're gonna do that in just a second. I've been trying to figure out if I have something funny I can show you. I have a bunch of funny things that are going to come out soon. Just don't know when the proper time to really dig into all of them are. Really dig into all of those things. So I'm having a little bit of a time with that, trying to figure out just what would be maximum funny, right? Maximum funny seems good. Do I have anything? I mean, I have some. I really do have some good stuff. We're gonna go through it. What is this? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's, we'll see. I kind of want to show you guys something because it's the Ace Attorney stream, but I like to give you guys something for coming to this stream because, you know, like I didn't put Vic in the title. I'm not talking about Vic. I know some people are going to miss it, but you guys are here. You guys are here. I feel like there's something I could put out that might make it, might make you smile a bit. A little exclusive. So I think I will do that in just a minute. I feel like I have food in my face, and that can't be true because I'm starving. But we're gonna go. We're gonna do that. The bulk of the time will be Ace Attorney. Don't get me wrong. That's the main thing. But I want to put out just a little tease, a little grift for you, or whatever. He's a grifter. The GoFundMe is ludicrous. It's so unfair. He has all this money. Blah blah blah. Oh, you're taking all the money from everybody ever. Well, it's not that much, really, though. It's not gonna matter. The defendants are gonna get it. Oh, that's how it's gonna work, right? That's how that's gonna work. Well, we shall see. We shall see. What would be? Ooh. What would be? Now you guys got me thinking, because I had something that I wanted to show you, but what would be more interesting? It'd be this. Hold on, let me pull this up. I wasn't thinking I would show this, but give me a second. Let me see something here. Hold on. Let's see. Now, I don't know if this is interesting or not. You guys will have to tell me. Should I do it now? Should we wait just a little bit? I've got it ready. Let's wait just a bit. I'm not teasing you too much. I just want to get a few more people in while we do it. Trust me. I've got something fun for you. All right. I might have to pull up the other thing just to go ahead and where is it? I'm going to pull up the other thing too because we need a contrast. We need a little bit of a contrast here. Let's see. Where's that affidavit? Karen Mika. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So one of the things, of course, one of the things, of course, we've got some inconsistencies here. And now, how big of a deal is this? Ultimately, I'm not sure this is some sort of crazy slam dunk or anything. But it's an inconsistency with what's going on, right? And I think I might start pointing out a couple of these inconsistencies as we go on, because inconsistencies are fun, right? I think you guys would agree. Inconsistencies are fun. So we're going to just start pointing them out and we'll see. And no, this is not. Now, before anybody runs off to Twitter or wherever to say that this is a silver bullet, this is not a silver bullet, okay? This is not a silver bullet. So don't take it that way. Don't run off and tell a bunch of people that Vic is going to win because of this. It's not the point of this. This is just one of the many inconsistencies that are in the let's see, Funimation TCPA motion to dismiss that you guys might not know about, because you might not be aware of this. I'm guessing you're not, because I wasn't until something happened. Until something happened that made me able to be aware of it. So let's do that right now. Let's bear with me here. We're gonna move over to this view. I got a little document up on screen. In the back here, we've got Funimation's TCPA motion to dismiss. This is the affidavit of what's her face? What's her name? Karen Mika. Karen Mika. Okay. Look at this. Paragraph 8 of the affidavit. Based on Ms. Denbo's investigation, I concluded that Funimation should terminate its relationship with Vic Mignogna. On January 29th, 2019, I contacted Mr. Mignogna by telephone along with Trina Simon and Zach Hall. On the call, I informed Mr. Mignogna that his conduct was unacceptable to Funimation, that Funimation was terminating its contract with him immediately. Okay. That's reasonable, right? We understand that. What's this? Now, when you're terminating a contract for cause, I mean, I don't know where this paragraph came from, but let me just suggest that FPL is Funimation Productions LLC, allegedly, it says this agreement may be terminated by Funimation Productions LLC for cause upon written notice to talent. Upon written notice to talent, it can be terminated for cause. Does this mean that they can't terminate the contract? Not necessarily. But if they don't terminate it upon written notice, by the very terms of the actor agreement, it wasn't for cause. So that's weird to me, right? And here, what's the specific termination for cause? Talent acting in a manner which is detrimental to Funimation Production LLC's reputation in the community. I think so. I informed Mr. Mignogna that his conduct was unacceptable to Funimation, and that Funimation was terminating its contract with him immediately. Is that an inconsistency? Now, they haven't alleged that they sent him written notice. There's been no written notice produced in documentation. Because one of I don't know if you've seen this galaxy brain argument, would be in his termination letter. His reason, he would know that he was terminated for this because it would be in his termination letter. They'd write it in his termination letter. Well, it should be in his termination letter. What termination letter? Where is it? Where'd that go? I mean, I would have loved to see it. It's weird that they didn't write any of it down. They just verbally terminated the contract by phone call rather than by the terms of their own contract. Allegedly. It's allegedly a Funimation contract. And by the way, I didn't get this contract from where people think I got this contract. So, sorry. It didn't come from there or from there. It came from elsewhere, which means there are more people who are a little bit more interested in this than, but maybe they don't, want to come forward about it. Because maybe the community, and I don't mean the anime community, I mean the community at Funimation, is a toxic nest of disgusting vipers. Just waiting to backstab each other. I mean, maybe that's why people are afraid to come forward and support Vig. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe they watched a man's entire career be shredded and his personal reputation too be absolutely tossed in a meat grinder because he wasn't in the in crowd. Maybe that's why people there are hesitant to go ahead and stand by Vig. Because they don't want to see their entire life torpedoed by some nasty, lying harpies. But what do I know? I mean, I couldn't tell you what their motivations are. I can just tell you that this is one of the inconsistencies. There's a whole contract here. The whole contract here. And there may be more inconsistencies. That's a tease. That. I hope you know that's a tease right there. That's a little tickling of the taint hairs, right? Just for you guys. So that's my thank you for showing up to a Ace Attorney stream and hanging out with me on this Saturday, which is kind of an unplanned thing. I wanted to give you guys something a little bit more than just the stream, right? Because we're pals, we're friends, and I feel like being friendly. So just so you know, that's probably a preview of some things that are coming up over the next couple weeks as we move towards this TCPA showdown. There's going to be inconsistencies pointed out all over the place. I would argue, well, did you even terminate him? Did you even terminate him? We'll have to see. And if you did, it must not have been for cause. And if you didn't terminate him for cause, then that tweet looks a lot worse. And you would know, oh man. And you would have knowledge that was inappropriate. That was not the appropriate method of terminating for cause, which would make that tweet just a little bit worse. I mean, other people have been breaking down what happened with that tweet as well. I mean, I guess I could take a look at that real quick. Let's get to homeboy Scott Barretto's affidavit real quick. Let's see. Oh, he didn't they include the tweet, but hold on, let me get to it. Let's break this down just a little bit. Wait. I'm getting there. let's look at this tweet again. Because, I mean, I've been reading, you know, people have been talking about this a little bit here and there. And I just want to make sure we're clear on some things. Because it's kind of funny. I mean, of course, this isn't funny. But it's... Where is this tweet? Oh my gosh. There it is. Let's go through this tweet one more time. All right, let me pull this back up. Okay, so we've got the Funimation tweet here. Everyone, we wanted to give you an update on the Vic Mignogna situation. Following an investigation, Funimation recast Vic Mignogna in Morose Mononoke in Season 2. Funimation will not be engaging Mignogna in future productions. So, I just want to point, this isn't something I hit on right away, but this was brought up somewhere. And my apologies for not properly crediting whoever said it. If you said it, if you caught this, good job. Good job. This is pretty interesting, right? Funimation is trying to argue that they made some factual assertions in this tweet, and all of those assertions are separate but factual, right? Like segregation, except instead of being separate but equal, they're separate but factual. So they want to give an update on the Vic Mignogna situation. Apparently that's true. Following an investigation, there was an investigation, so that's true. Funimation recast Vic Mignogna and Morose Mononoke in Season 2. Also true. That's a true statement. Following an investigation, they did that. Funimation will not be engaging Mignogna in future productions. Apparently true. At least at the time. And then part of our core mission is to celebrate diversity. So that's also true. Their mission statement there. But this first line leads us to something a little bit different, doesn't it? This first line puts this tweet squarely in the context of February 11th, giant trash fire that is Kick Vic and I Stand With Vic. Specifically, in the context of these allegations about Vic Mignogna. Now, I don't think we need this tweet anymore. I just want to scroll up to this exhibit page at the bottom of the affidavit here. Like, look at what context they're talking about. Because they tell us exactly what they have. Mignogna's tweet, Polygon's article about Mignogna, Anime News Network, Anime ANN, Polygon, Mignogna's tweet, ANN. Funimation tweet. And then Polygon's article about Mignogna, which came out incidentally, just by happenstance, the same day as Funimation's tweet. Pure coincidence that Polygon's article came out, that they had an article then, and I'm guessing that this article was probably in reaction to this tweet or whatever, but, you know, what, it doesn't matter. Look, they've given us the context. So when they argue that they're just putting out this tweet, just updating you on the situation, here it is. And they're trying to argue that there is no indication in this tweet that Vic was fired as a result of the investigation finding issues of sexual harassment or abuse. But they're lodging it in this environment where he's being called a sexual abuser, a sexual assaulter, pedophile, over and over and over by these publications, by people on Twitter, people asking for them, by their own employees. By their own employees. All of that indicates that the context they're discussing this in. They're trying to ignore that. This is going to be a problem. That's another inconsistency. Another inconsistency is they say they do not condone harassment of any kind. And they also say that they don't police their people's social media, but they do. I mean, they clearly police their people's social media, but they're not policing some people's social media. They're not policing Monica's, right? Why not? They don't condone harassment of any kind or endorse it. and they have a provision in their contract which says that they, if it doesn't look good for Funimation, you know, they can make a termination decision for cause right there in the contract. Very interesting things to me. So I just want to point out the inconsistencies in this thing are going to be, well, I'll be talking about some of them as we go on. We're gonna have some other stuff coming out over the next week too, some other fun streams and stuff related to Vic and not related to Vic. But as we ramp up towards this TCPA, be talking about some of the stuff that's out there. It's very, very interesting. I assume we're gonna see a motion at some point here for some additional discovery prior to that TCPA hearing, and we'll see what happens with that stuff. But I mean, this is very interesting. I'm aware that an investigation of Mr. Mignogna was conducted. That Funimation recast Mr. Mignogna and Maros Mononoke in 2. Funimation will not be engaging in future productions. Blah, 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 blah. No statement is intended to defame Mr. Mignogna in any way, nor do the statements imply that Mr. Mignogna engaged in any harassing or threatening behavior. Funimation has not made any other public statements about Mr. Mignogna since its tweet. Okay. Remember, this is an interesting line because I don't think he meant this. I don't think he meant this in the way that it's going to be read. He means that he doesn't, I think, okay, I'm going to guess that this guy would say, I didn't mean to imply that Mignogna engaged in any harassing or threatening behavior online. I think that's what he's talking about. But any harassing or threatening behavior necessarily includes sexual harassment or some sort of assaultive behavior. Assault, by the way, typically is threat. Under common law definitions, an assault is a threat of imminent harm. A battery would be the actual conduct that involves a touch of some sort of imminent harm. Now, sexual assault is different. It's clearly defined in Texas. But the idea is that this statement is going to be, I would use it to say that, well, then you mean he didn't sexually assault or harass anyone as well. Like that must be, that's not what the statement is implying. Again, this is weird because, again, they could have just come out and said, no, we found by investigation that he was guilty of these things, and then double down on it and say they're just true. Why didn't they do that? Because I'm not sure they actually found that, or that they could credibly claim that they found that. Notice her words, Tammy Denbo's words were, I found some of the allegations to be credible. What does that actually mean? No one knows what that means. It's a non-statement. The credible allegation of what? Is it sexual harassment? No, not necessarily. It just means that if an allegation that something occurred is credible, they believe it maybe occurred. They don't know the context. They're not talking about the outcome of it. They're not talking about any sort of guilt amongst either party. It's very weaselly worded. All of this stuff is when it seems like it would be simple for them to just come out and say under oath, nope, he was guilty, statement's true, back off. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. And it makes you wonder why. Finally, final point on Vic, and then we'll move on to the GoFundMe and then Ace Attorney. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a stream a while back talking about this tweet being a single published, or this string of 3 tweets being a single published work, and what that single published work entails, right? Like how the law looks at a single published work in Texas in regards to defamation. Now, the case we had, I believe the plaintiff ended up losing because they found that something called the substantial truth of the piece was not implicating the plaintiff in the way that he said. I don't remember the exact ruling or citation. You'd have to go back to that stream and watch it. But I was thinking about that during this. The substantial truth of this statement, or of a published work, is what a reasonable person would infer from the substantial truth of the entire piece. Not going line by line and saying this statement is defamatory, this statement is defamatory, but rather looking at an entire published work, and if the substantial truth, if the article is substantially true, would it lead someone towards a defamatory or more or less defamatory meaning? Basically. I'm butchering how the wording is, but I think you get my drift. Would a reasonable person looking at Funimation's tweets in context, in the circumstances that are surrounding the tweets, which are indicated in the tweets, it's indicated in there that this is contextualized to the Vic Mignogna situation. They say, following an investigation. There is no way a reasonable person would conclude that following an investigation has anything other, and that he was terminated, anything other to do with him than that he was fired because of a determination they made from the investigation of sexual harassment or other misconduct. And I believe, I don't know if it's in there. Hold on, I gotta find. Now I want to see that stupid tweet again for the follow-up tweets. Here we go. Wait, this is January 31st. I'm really bad at this. Sorry. I blame Funimation. I think it's right after this one. H, nope. I, nope. J, here we go. Nope, that's the earlier one. That's February. Here we go. L. Look at this. This is interesting. There were multiple investigations with testimony, proof, evidence. Companies don't cut ties without those things. However, that information is classified. But let me talk about it. I'm one of dozens of men and women who participated. Stop harassing me. Okay? So, here's the interesting thing. What would a reasonable person think about this tweet? How about an unreasonable, shrieky voice actress who allegedly participated in the investigation? How would they interpret a Funimation employee, well, contractor, right? How would the contractor for Funimation, who would be subject to the same scrutiny, allegedly, if an investigation were done on her, how did she interpret that tweet? She interprets it that he was fired because of the investigation's testimony, proof, and evidence. Very interesting. Very interesting. You knew he was like this, you covered it up, you're just as bad. Let's see. Here's another one. Y'all need to calm down. They owe you absolutely no other explanation. Internal investigations aren't publicly shared. 90% of the time, there's nothing weird about this. His victims have already been bullied and harassed online, so not shocking they aren't adding fuel to the fire. Privacy isn't yours to encroach and try to tear down. This isn't a trial, so either trust in their integrity as a company doing due diligence or boycott them. Don't demand details. You're not entitled to knowing unless victims want you to know. Let's see. I think the public acknowledgement is somewhat necessary when you're a large group being asked about this constantly. Vic earned this. Lots of unwarranted physical contact directed at fans. Let's see. Here we go. Everyone defending Funimation here keeps parroting following an investigation. Oh, this one's actually on their side. That's just PR talk. But anyway, I want to point out that because of Twitter, we have a lot of evidence of what reasonable people will think. A reasonable person when they read this. I think maybe we go through this Funimation tweets responses, and there's a lot of them, so it's going to be tough to really sift through. Maybe that's something I'll try and do sometime soon here. But I think we'll find what a reasonable person thinks the substantial truth of that statement is. I think they're going to find that most people believe that that statement indicates that Vic was fired for harassment or assault, according to the statement, and an investigation finding proof of that. That's how it's worded. That's how everybody should be thinking of that, based on the wording. So anyway. Oh, here we go. Her Excellency, thank you. D Magazine versus Rosenthal. Here's a great quote. Even if all the publication's individual statements are literally true, the story can convey a false or defamatory meaning by omitting / juxtaposing facts. Texas case that talk about assessing the gist. I think I either read that case on the show or it was cited in the case that I did read, because that omitting and juxtaposing facts is very familiar. But yeah, that's Funimation's problem here. Now, this is a TCPA. We have to make a prima facie case of defamation, which means prima facie means they get all of the reasonable inferences. So the thing then is that Funimation would have to make a claim to their affirmative defense. I don't know that they can actually do that, because if their affirmative defense is truth, that's undermined by their own affidavits that say that it's not saying what they're going to have to say that it said. Right? Very weird. So, will this get past TCPA? I don't know. I hope so. I think it'll be really interesting. If it does, it's going to be really funny. It's going to be really funny if it gets past TCPA. So we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, let's do super chats that have come in during my opening sort of rambling, and then we'll do the GoFundMe update, and then Ace Attorney. Ink Penification says, hey, yo, Nick, here's my question. How the F would counsel get from you being deposed? It'll be like Mike Tyson, me, punching someone on a wheelchair. Also, can Drex be on Chad Dad or Ty on the Big Brain panel? I don't know if I want to have Drex on the Chad Dad stream, because Drexel has a little bit of a different life than the vibe of the Chad Dad stream. And I love Drexel to death. I think he's a great guy and a great father, but I'm not sure that's the type of dad advice. And I don't know that he would suggest that he's the guy to give out that type of life advice. He lives in a little bit of a different world than many, many people. Ty on the Big Brain panel is something I desperately want to have happen. But arranging a bunch of lawyers to be on a Big Brain panel means convincing all of those lawyers that they can still drink. They just have to do it on the show. Raider J says, a request for a whiskey toast to the departed, my friend, OFC. Graham Highland from Illinois took his own life last night. He was a good man who had some things to go wrong. He will be missed. 1042, brother. Yeah, man. Just a second. Oh. Well, that is that's really rough, buddy. So with that, I didn't finish some gin the other night. It's just been aging in this cup sitting on my desk. So this is a bitter toast, the loss of your friend. That is nasty. I'm sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. Cowboy FMJ 91. Doing my bar hopping down dirty 6 tonight. Catch your stream later, Rackets. Hey, buddy. Thanks. Have a good night. Enjoy it. That guy over there. Said, I did what you asked on Thursday's stream. I donated the GoFundMe. Now I donate 20 to you to ask, will you let me out of this cage? Stay in the cage. Stay in the cage. Baron Nathan Dean says, how can one lawyer be this many gay at once? I'm sorry. I was reading through a very interesting document, and I ended up not even using that document. So I was reading through it, and then my brain just timed out the thing there. Mythos Irving says, save $30 with Honey app to say Nick, the Leighton Shane lawyer, the destroyer of his kids' spoons. There you go. Ryan Mercado says, they say if the GoFundMe keeps on increasing, the TCPA sanctions will also increase. That is not necessarily true at all. The judge could rule that way. He could. That would be one way the judge could look at the situation. But here's the thing. They would have to establish, well, they wouldn't have to. It would likely entail them establishing that Vic was utilizing GoFundMe funds to punish people rather than to actually bring a lawsuit he found to be legitimate, and how much deterrence they believed he would need to not do that. The the GoFundMe existing, being raised by someone else, and him just accepting the funds and not making any statements about using it to punish people or anything like that. There's no evidence that Vic is trying to punish someone with a slappable lawsuit. There's a lot of evidence that Vic believes that he was that he's wrongly accused and he's going after them. Now there, of course, it's the conflation game, right? Well, Nick said, well, Nick isn't Vic. Never have been, never will be. Not my place to speak for him. No matter how bad you want it to happen, I do not represent Vic in a professional legal capacity or in any other capacity. I'm not his mouthpiece, and you can't impute my words upon him. All I did was set up a place where people could give money, and then I promoted the hell out of it. Actually, yeah, we'll stick with that. I promoted it, other people promoted it, and everybody's got their own purpose for donating to the GoFundMe. And the most interesting thing about it is none of those purposes are Vic's purpose. So, if you want to say that they will impose sanctions required to deter the activity, and they're going to base that on other people legally funding a lawsuit, I don't know if that's the case. Now, maybe if Vic had said, you help me set up this fund so I can go ravage the corpses of my enemies, that'd be different. But Vic hasn't made any statements like that. In fact, I believe the only statement Vic has made about the GoFundMe is, I would never ask for people to give me money. And they're going to have to overcome that in the eyes of the judge to sanction it, to sanction him excessively. I mean, they could sanction him in a couple different ways. Sure, that's in the law. They can do it. And the judge may do it. But saying what the judge will do is an interesting thing that seems to be a symptom of being on law Twitter. That is powerful revolting. All right. Ugh. So we'll see. I'm just dying to see how this TCPA works out. The fact that it's like a month away at shortest makes me sad. Makes me sad because I really want to see how it turns out. I really do. And if he wins it, I'm curious what's going to happen. I'm curious what some people will say. I don't know about you guys, but it'd be very, very interesting. All right, Green Bullet Productions. I read your update earlier today, and no need to thank us. Thank you for getting everyone motivated. I will keep encouraging Vic visits to my local cons like Anime Midwest. Never been able to meet him. It's for the fans. Thank you, buddy. Her Excellency, we read yours. Thank you for that citation. Insert clever name here says, I think calling people on Twitter reasonable is a bit of a stretch there, lol. Yeah, maybe. But it's also, I would say, calling anybody reasonable. That's the ongoing joke amongst lawyers is, who is a reasonable person? No one's ever met the reasonable person. No one's ever met them. So I think Twitter could qualify. And Travis the Bard says, dude, you're going to live through this revolting gin. I am. And we've moved on to Lafroig. And this'll kill all that gin. Much better. Much better. Okay, let's pull up this GoFundMe here. Okay. Okay, so this is a little bit of a let's see. Pulling it over here. Make it a little bigger. What do we got? What do we got? Whoops. I want this. So here is the GoFundMe right now. It's at 205,000. Oh, what? Where? Ah, 205,342 of the $200,000 goal. We've exceeded the goal twice now. Both of them being, in my opinion, extremely ambitious. First 100K, then upping it, doubling it to 200,000 was an extremely ambitious goal. I thought you guys came through, and other people came through and really came together to make it happen. So thank you for that. I know you said I don't need to thank y'all, but I do. It really means a lot. It sends a clear, I mean, the message is clear, and their reaction to that message. Look at what they're trying to do. You can, again, these people are so transparent. They're so transparent. When they couldn't deter you from donating by shame, they tried to deter you from donating by saying that it will go to Ron and Monica, right? Like that it would go to someone else. That's where, well, if you donate there, it's just going to go over there, stupid. That's what's going to happen. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. The TCPA was always a risk of the of any lawsuit that implicates speech. Just is. It's a risk that Ty and I talked about. It's a risk I'm guessing Ty and Vic have talked about probably extensively. It's the biggest risk in this lawsuit, to be honest, is the TCPA. Do you think you can get past TCPA? That's the question you got to ask when you're bringing a defamation suit or a TI suit. Anything that involves the speech of the defendant. So here we have it. Now, when they, like I said, when they couldn't stop the donations from coming in through all sorts of various shame, calling it grifts, trying to say that it was being stolen. It's fraud. It's a grift. You're all being cheated. La 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 la. And it doesn't work, right? GoFundMe just keeps going up. Can't stop it. So now their new tactic is trying to say that it will go somewhere else. I highly doubt any funds would go anywhere else. This GoFundMe is going to likely, in the event that, well, I would suggest it would get used up. It'll still get, there's a lot of case left. And Ron and Monica thinking that they'll have access to this money in the GoFundMe. I don't know about that. You've got appeals. You've got all sorts of potential work. Even if they lose the TCPA, you've got a potential appeal. You've got a whole lot of stuff that can happen. Whole lot. Before you get to have access to the money that's in the GoFundMe. So, but that's their new approach, right? Well, donating there, you're just going to give it to the opposition. You may as well not donate. You just read that little bracketed, unsaid sentence in every single one of their tweets. Well, please just stop donating. Dude, please just stop making it look like the community stands behind Vic. We'd all really appreciate that. So, let me go ahead and do this. Bear with me for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and let's get this campaign updated. Now, I've been mulling over where to go with this. And I was stuck between two choices. The $250,000, $250,000 mark. Good symbolic mark. It's less ambitious than the previous update. And it seems reasonably attainable. as this thing goes on. And then the 300,000 is, it's not like a symbolic number like 250,000, right? But it's another increase of the original. It's tripling it. We're going to triple the original ask amount. And it's bigger. So I'm going with 300,000. Going with 300,000 for the update. Let me pull it back up here. We've updated the goal to 300,000. There's an update now that has been processed. It's there. So I will ask what I always ask, which is if it's within your means, consider donating. I know a lot of you just donated. This is the low pressure stream. Just have to say, if it's within your means, consider donating. Regardless of whether or not it's in your means, could you please strongly consider sharing the campaign with the update right here, most recent. If you could please consider sharing this update and the campaign itself. We've got 9,500 shares that have occurred. We've got a new goal, so share it out. Let people know that this GoFundMe is not stopping. That it's still going strong. Again, I know a ton of people just donated just the other night, and so I'm not here to like try and dig further into your pockets, but I am trying to dig further into your networks. So share it out. Not everybody is watching this stream, so I'd appreciate y'all putting that update out there. That we're moving it to 300,000. I think it's an attainable goal. I think we have time to do it, and you know, I think that's something we can make happen. So I hope you guys agree with me. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Are you going to talk about Warski or not? What about Warski? What do I need to talk about Warski about? There you go. So that's where, I don't know if 300K is the final goal. It depends on what we hit, right? But let's see. I honestly don't know what's going on with Warski, or if you're talking about just the shooting thing. I don't know. Warski hasn't talked to me in a little while, so I'm not sure. You're not seeing the 300K update when you refresh GoFundMe. Try a different browser or clearing your cache. So, all right. Stay back. Is Alex out of jail? As far as I know, all the charges were dropped against Alex. So there you go. Any more hints about the Cody stream? Not yet. I think it's going to be great. When is Alex coming on the show? Alex said he couldn't come on the show until everything was squared away, like in October, when the statute of limitations or something, or the charging time ran out, like 6 months. Then he went on Dick Masterson's show, so I don't know. He hasn't talked to me about it lately. But yeah. So we'll see. Should we get to this Ace Attorney stream? I think we should do that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ace Attorney stream. Where are we? Phoenix Wright. It's Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Let's see what we got here. Come on. Load up. Where did we go? See you in court, bozo. Mondegrave, what? Are you gonna sue me? For what? What'd you sue me for, you dummy? Oh my goodness. That guy, he's charmingly stupid. Charmingly stupid. Yeah, the Cody stream, I'm hoping to do sometime really soon. I've got to get, I got to get something. I gotta make sure it's timely. It's timely. Going to court, Nikki. I'll make sure and pick up Jim in like a grocery cart, and we'll go to court together for moral support against Montegraph. Oh, what an idiot. You know what you are, Nikki? You're on the sweaty sausage squad, Nikki. Can't stop thinking about sweaty sausage, Nikki. I sit in a TJ Maxx dressing rooms all day. What, you think you can come after me? Agent 19's got cameras in all of them. So we can look at the sweaty sausages, Nikki. Oh no! Not the Agent 19! No. Alright. Final day of trial. October 20th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Oh, gavel. There we go. Actually, I gotta close. Let me AFK for just a second. Go to the bathroom and then come back and close the vault door. I'll be right back. Enjoy the weird judge. All right. You know what the worst part about Montegraph is? I have a whole bunch of people sending me information about this weirdo, and I don't even care about him enough to follow up on it. It's kind of, oh God, it's so boring. All right, let's do this.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I don't want to. Why would I want to talk about the Anime Expo stunt? Let's see. That guy over there says, I'm out. I got out. Sorry. Will you let me back in the cage? Someone asked me for my shoes. I was being mugged, so I gave him my shoes. He swallowed them whole. Now he has a half-eaten sock hanging out of his mouth. Well, put him in the cage with you. That's where he belongs. Mythos Irving says, you're going to court, Nikki. Isn't that neat? Sure is. Suck his toes. Oh my goodness. The Anime Expo event. Okay, let me address the event. Let me address the event. I don't care. I'm not policing what people do. I don't think people should do that stuff at cons. I really think cons are for fans and fun and all sorts of, personal interaction. I don't believe that anybody should go bring pressure or things to these people in public. It's not something I would do ever. I would not go confront these actors in front of their fans or at a panel. I don't think that that's appropriate personally. But I will not stand here and condemn someone for doing what they're going to do. I think it's silly. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to police or be responsible for the actions of anyone in this community. It's not my job. I don't want that job. I will never, ever take on the mantle of telling other people what to do and what not to do. Period. Period. That guy wants to go up and make a statement in front of VAs. Fine, I don't care. I'm not going to have him on my show to talk about him. I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to suggest you subscribe to his YouTube channel. I don't even know what his channel is. If it was YouTube, he just said my channel. I don't care. I'm trying to just ignore that situation because I have nothing to do with it. So that's my statement on it. Don't do that, I guess. But it's not my role, and I don't want that role. I never have, and never will accept the actions of others. So there you go. Oh, Florida SuperCon, not Anime Expo. Okay, there you go. Whatever, wherever it was. So, all right. Okay, what do we got here? Yeah, here we go. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence.
Better hope so, I guess.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement.
In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear.
Very well.
Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today.
You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls D. Vasquez to the stand. Why? Oh man, not D. Terrible. Terrible. Ms. D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Mythos Irving says, this is to trigger at Montegraph Live saying you're a scammer. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam when you're an unaccomplished little hack, I guess. Intimidator 0108 says, hey Nick, how's it going tonight? Here's a super chat just to piss off Ron, Monica, Jamie, Mars Girl, and the rest of CLICKB. Anyhow, just got done playing Call of Duty World War II, and now just chilling with a Bud Light in your stream. Hey, thanks, buddy. Thank you. All right, here we go. Here we go back to Slow-Mo Rodriguez. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in trailer for Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. That's actually a slow-mo Rodriguez line right there. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. She's guilty. I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. I entered the trailer a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. This is the most, offensive. Slow-mo Rodriguez is the most offensively voiced character. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
Whoa! I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you?
That sounds like a rough endeavor. The van. Here's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. Double A says, voice the next creepy character as Montagraph. Listen here, Nikki. Here's what's gonna happen. Montagraph's like a retarded Dennis Hopper. That's how he sounds to me. I don't know if you guys get that. I thought it might be risky to walk. What with that monkey's head toppling over? The van is added to the court record.
I see.
That just destroyed all of it. That just undoes all of the testimony. There was a van that could transport people between the two studios, apparently, that just didn't matter that their road was blocked off.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. Hold it! By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop at the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. Hold it! Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony! No! The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. Buttle Weeb. Hey Nick, miss you, big dog. Sorry, I'm pretty tanked out here in La. Hope you're having a fun on the stream. I am. I'm always having fun on the stream. So wait a minute. Don't we have something about the stakes? Hmm. It's only in the employee area. All right. Hold on. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering. No. The meeting ended at 4 o'clock and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Mythos Irving says, last one for tonight, but I want to see Jim in court in Labo armor and his underoos, but I don't want him in court. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Apparently, Jim gon' get sued. Jim gon' get sued by an incompetent. Wouldn't that, I guess that would be the first motion, Your Honor. The plaintiff is incompetent to conduct trial, much less stand trial. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. Hold on! You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, alright. At 2:30 And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me.
Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops.
It was a 15-minute break. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer.
Do you have someone who can verify this?
Sal?
No, I mean, someone else.
One person is enough.
She committed murder during that break. She wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak.
Well, Nick, find anything?
I kind of wish she'd said a little more.
It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said somewhere.
What do we got?
Gotta be something in here.
Wait a minute.
Between 2:15 and 4 p.m. (2:30) we took a 15-minute break. Let me see what she says about this. Hold on.
Boring. Yeah, I already read this. Yeah, but I see that you're saying the last statement's steak, but the steak objection that I would have is from the employee area. Oh. Some evidence that she didn't eat the steak. We'll risk it. As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not.
What's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate?
This plate was on the table in the employee area. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind.
Mr. Wright,
need I remind you that it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer. No bones. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I ate the bone. She's eating bones all day. Look at her. I think I know how. You ate the bone too. You ate a boneless steak. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during the break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere in the incinerator. Like that incinerator.
I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai.
Order! Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai, and she said, "Why eat that steak when I could have your hot beef?" I made that up. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands.
Mr. Wright! Isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, a samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? It's not impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but... Silence. I'm speaking. The victim was stabbed through the chest from the front, yes. I believe this would indicate the victim was aware of the killer's presence. Now, the Steel Samurai costume is quite light and mobile. Compared to the victim, I am weaker and slower, except he had a twisted... Wait, no. I couldn't possibly win such a fight. Not to mention, there is proof I did not have the spear. The photograph of the Steel Samurai shows that the victim himself was holding it. Or do you mean to suggest that I could have wrestled it away from him? Yeah! Take that, right. If you still think she did it, show us proof. Hey, Nick. Look at the data we have on that samurai spear in the court record. Is there something in there that gets to you? Something odd about the samurai spear? It was broken. Wait!
Something the matter, Mr. Wright?
So sorry, Your Honor. I'd like to take back my previous claim.
Very well, I won't hold you to your claim, but I'm afraid I will have to penalize you.
What? What's this? You're taking back your claim? Let's backtrack for a moment. I want to consider whether a witness could have used the samurai spear or not. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
Not in, Your Honor. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as a murder weapon. So it's either the duct tape or the accident. We'll go with the accident, or the duct tape. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run through? But someone fixed the spear. It was a security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who's wearing a thick costume with this through the chest?
Order! Order!
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was?
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then.
Take that! Look at this photo.
What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest?
What?
Are you saying? Yes, I think. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again!
Mr. Wright, continue.
It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Let me sing you a tale. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer to get some jackhammering. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had done himself 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio One, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio One and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body?
The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes. I mean, unless she murdered him. I mean, let's just throw out that she could be lying about the amount of time since the only other witness is a useless sack of trash. I mean, can we do that for a second and suggest that maybe we're taking the words of the murderer on the timing of that break just a little too literally? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio One and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
You'd be surprised. I bet she could do it. When people think their life depends on it, they can do amazing things.
Mr. Wright, this is not an episode of That's Incredible.
You claim she did everything in 15 minutes. Let me guess. Show me proof. Correct! Show me proof. How am I supposed to do that? Then I won't have you making unsubstantiated claims. Wait a second. How does he know what I'm thinking? Ha! I need only look at the cold sweat running down your face to know what you're thinking.
Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to reconsider your claim? Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
Oh. I mean, I guess this. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? Okay, that's what I was going for.
For instance.
Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body.
Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
Ms. Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio One, and you used a studio van to do it. Recall your testimony.
There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio One. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me.
You used the van to carry the body to Studio One. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Of course Salmonella has to be has to have been. No, I should have picked the other one. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Ms. Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Ms. Vasquez, shall I continue?
No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun.
Win? So, what happens next?
Don't... Me, bro? Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost. Something like that? I just said that. Wait. So you mean D. Vasquez? So it was you? You killed Jackhammer? Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did, Mr. Wright? We just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right! But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? Not his job. What?
Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Of course it's as the witness says. Certainly. It does seem very likely she did it. But, there's no proof. Or whatever. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you have no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? Miss Vasquez, you did it. It wasn't a question. Did you do it? No.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
I'm not sure that question helped the court get any closer to a verdict.
What do I do now? I'd like you to testify again.
Testify? Again?
No need to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Damn. Come so far only to fail.
As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't.
I see. Very well.
Your Honor! I request that the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes, indeed, verily, I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth? Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that, Edgeworth. I was with Sale and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Old Bag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying, "He did it." I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick.
Right.
It was a Sale and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body.
What time was that?
We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal. So I'd say it was then.
When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio?
About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you.
Where were the other employees when you got to the studio?
They weren't there yet.
Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help.
Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy.
Boy?
The witness will continue her testimony.
The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent.
Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct?
So he says.
Did no one go to call him?
Remember.
Remember? What?
There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm.
Certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Press harder. Wait a second. Wouldn't that be the other way around?
The other way around?
You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person?
I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez.
Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his Steel Samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing.
Or Powers.
Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue.
I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up.
What was everyone else doing at that time?
No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence. Dead silence. Silence. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up.
Alright, nothing there.
Security lady Old Bag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it.
You just said they were silent. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it?
She said because she saw him going toward the studio. Right. Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. Wait a minute. Okay. Security lady old bag was quite... Okay, wait. I asked to be left out of the proceeding. You asked to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you, or covered it up for you. Look at this photograph. There must have been a lot writing on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? No, wait, no, that's not true. She wouldn't have known about the murder until she got there.
Very well, Ms. Vasquez, please continue.
No way! Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Come on, Phoenix, you're an idiot. Think. Ms. Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio One.
Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense?
I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well. The witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, the director. You have to find something to peg her on this. Peg this on her. Here. Or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go peg him! Ah! No! No, Maya! No! Oh! Oh! Wait. No. Dang it. Gotta catch her on something here. Yes, yes, yes. So she knew he was injured because of Sal. Why would she go back and get her script and direction notes? This is the thing that's confusing me. Why would she go back to get them in the first place? You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was a Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What?
Mr. Bright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer's dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was there at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Ms. Vasquez? Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Ah!
And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2 where he was murdered. Exactly. Ms. Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in the Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
Order! Order! I will have order!
Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. No. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death, nothing.
Yes, you would need a motive.
I mean, she could have thought it was Powers.
Why would she have killed the victim? There is a reason that is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
Okay, I have proof and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. I mean, it's this. This is my proof. This is the photo from before.
This is the photo from before.
This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial, it began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, in Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you've only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
Evidence or no motive? Evidence? Okay. Allow me to present to the court evidence proving Miss Vasquez's motive.
Gosh, this is a tough one here. Let's see. What was on this camera? Sure. Didn't take the picture of the fight. This is my proof.
And this tells us why Ms. Vasquez wanted to kill Mr. Hammer.
I'd say all it proves is that the defense attorney has completely lost his marbles.
Ah!
Mr. Wright, the court requests that you find your marbles immediately.
Because he got beat in a fight.
I'm afraid I have to penalize you for this waste of the court's time.
Nick, we're so close. Think this went through, please.
Mr. Wright, I'll ask you again. Please explain Ms. Vasquez's motive.
We're going no motive. She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Ms. Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense.
What's that now?
It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Ms. Vasquez.
What?
What? Wait,
What?
Your Honor? Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So you did do it, didn't you?
Yes, I am guilty.
Really?
It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late.
Ah, Miss Vasquez!
What? What happened here?
Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. I don't know who's talking. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm.
No, how could this? It was an accident.
Who's talking? Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Please don't die! Please!
Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's Dee Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
it appears you've brought about yet another miracle.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty.
Yay!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 20th, 1:12 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah, but it's sad. I know that now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume, bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez. But to think that he tried to frame me for the murder makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
I don't know. I guess we'll never know.
Yes, of course.
Whew. Not sure I wanted to go down that road.
Congratulations, Will Powers.
Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. Can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Nick! Edgeworth!
Say something right. I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Does she not get away? Like I guess she's guilty of the self-defense?
Pleased to meet you, Powers. Pleased to meet you, I'm Powers.
Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers.
Liar.
Right. I must say I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. 'Cause then, I wouldn't have fallen in love with you again. Thanks to you, I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. Questioning my sexuality. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix, right? Don't go dying on me. Don't you die on me. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Mr. Wright? Was that guy your boyfriend?
What? Boyfriend? As if.
They're rivals. Rivals. Right, Nick? For now we are. I guess.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick. Tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. It went back to making kid shows again.
Nick, this is it. The new show starts today. You're gonna watch it with me, right?
Oh girl, we got Netflix and chill. I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant.
Fine. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it
great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show us real face this time.
I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. The end. A brand new episode has been added.
Save your progress? Yep.
All right. All right. All right. I am gonna be done with the game. We're gonna do chats, and then we're gonna finish up here. No, I don't want to. I don't want to do more. No, I don't want that story. Here we go. We're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna get back to doing chats. Then we'll end the show, and I'm going to. I'm gonna get a sandwich or something, and then go to Twitch. So join me over there. But first, we've got to. Got to finish these chats. These chats go on. But sorry. Joseph Kerwin says such homosexual tardiness. Actually, I want to get this one because this came in during my Twitch stream from Hated 7 Days to Die during my Twitch stream last night, and I want to answer it because I didn't see it on the Twitch stream. He says, on Lawsuit 33, you mentioned a case of yours with 3 clients in hemp oil. Did you ever say the result of that? Yes, I did. Don't ask where. Short answer. Oh, excuse me. We got the hemp oil charge dismissed because it was not a charge. My clients pled guilty to gross misdemeanor possession of firearms while unlawful users of a controlled substance, mainly based on the statements that the police would bring at trial. And we got that with the stay of adjudication, which meant that if they had 1 year of no related criminal activity, then they would, those charges would be dismissed and they would not lose any of their substantive gun rights. So there you go. That's how we resolved that case. Got all the guns back. Which were held in trust by a party that did not have a probationary period that prevented them from owning firearms. But yeah, the guns were held by another party. Yeah, it's great. Good times. So there you go. All right. So that was from yesterday. Just wanted to put that out there. Raul Cheeto says, after you finish this episode of Ace Attorney today, you will have 11 episodes left, each divided into 3 investigation, 3 trial sections. If you average 1 investigation and trial per stream, that gives you 33 more streams worth of content until you're done. Oh my God, that's a lot of Ace Attorney. That's a lot of Ace Attorney. DLJ Screwjob says, what's the difference between wah and wah? War allows the orcs to be the smartest ever and build spacecraft from Legos and thrusters. Wah is what the Lemonhead did. No, wait. Wah is what the Lemonhead did when Big Mean Bearded Man wouldn't say Vic, Meg, Vic was a public figure. There you go. TLJ Screwjob says, so a while ago I asked about funny settling and if that was a res judicata thingy. But what if they win the TCPA, get subpoenaed, if BH can even do that still, and then it's found out Funny was in on this, can they be brought back to the suit? That's an interesting question. I would think, man, that's tough. They can get subpoenaed. They definitely have information that could be relevant to the underlying claims of the other parties. If evidence is brought up, I don't know, the judge might have to determine to dismiss without prejudice. Gosh, it's tough. That's a tough question. I don't actually know the answer to that one. Because that'd be very interesting. Short Round says, and actually maybe that's an argument for why continued discovery against Funimation needs to happen. Maybe that's part of the persuasive argument that they made, that they say, look, Your Honor, if we do, if you grant the TCPA and we don't have access to discovery of Funimation, and then we subpoena Funimation after the TCPA is granted, and then we find information that Funimation is actually involved or did actually commit defamation or tortious interference or whatever, or collusion, conspiracy, then we would have to bring them back to the suit. They'd be dismissed, presumably with prejudice. So maybe that's an argument for continued discovery related to TCPA. Short Round says, do you have an attorney who can handle a copyright claim in Montana or Wisconsin? I have 2 people using my copyrighted image in those areas. Also, police my behavior, daddy rackets. I've been naughty. I do have an attorney who could handle those copyright claims. Yeah, you know where to find me, buddy. Ampathos guy says, Nick, I see that Maya and Phoenix have gotten closed. Closed? I think you mean close? Would it be a reasonable conclusion that they are, in fact, pegging? But who is pegging who? Xander's Rand says, now that you hopefully finish this case, what did you think of it? If it was you, what would you have done? When are we going to get lawyer reviews Ace Attorney game? The legal systems are so vastly different that it's crazy. One, I wouldn't have cared to get D. Vasquez found guilty. So that wouldn't be really a point. I mean, it's useful to provide a viable alternative to raise reasonable doubt. But at the time we found that reasonable doubt existed when Vasquez was another possible party, and not only a possible party, but a likely party, should have reasonable doubt at that time. They just don't have the requisite standards of evidence that the US has, apparently. We have much more of an advantage here as defense attorneys to be able to, I mean, Edgeworth would have to prove that WP did it. There's a lot of points in that case that raise significant doubts about whether WP did it. So, when are we going to get a lawyer reviews Ace Attorney game? I don't know. No. All right, Brain Paint says postpone and likes rom-com. Rude. Itsuki Kuro says Big O. John Vent, thanks for donation. Joel Donadio says, sucks that I can't get Milo's tea where I live. I'm sorry, RIP, buddy. Timecode Mechanic says there's a Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright game. The Neon Outlaw says, hey, Nick, first time super chat. Hey, thank you. Real big fan of what you do. I'm curious to know what kind of Veritech you have on your shelf behind you and where you got it. This is a, I'll bring it up. It's a YF1. Jack Archer's YF1. Whoop. There you go. This thing from the Macross saga. It's a masterpiece collection. Yeah, I got it from my buddy. He and I watched Robotech a lot growing up. Robotech and Macross, Macross Plus and Macross Zero and Macross 2. We watched those a lot growing up, and of course Clash of the Bionoids. But yeah, he got married, and that was my gift that he gave me for him getting married, which is weird. But yeah, long time. We've been friends forever. So let's see. Nasenda says, in defamation, who is the burden of proof on? It's a weird question. The burden of proof is on the plaintiff to prove the falsity of the statements. The burden of proof is on the defendants to prove any of their affirmative defenses. Okay? So if the plaintiff has to prove falsity, if they raise truth as an affirmative defense, the plaintiff has to prove the falsity, and the defense has to prove the affirmative defense of truth. So they have to prove the truth of the statement. Does that make sense? I know it gets confusing on Twitter because I said that the burden shifts to the other party to then prove. I apologize if burden shifting wasn't exactly the proper legal term. I'm trying to explain these things to lay people. And so you have, it's not so mechanical that you have this and this. You have to prove the falsity, and they have to prove the affirmative defense of truth. The reason I say burden shift is because if the plaintiff fails to prove the falsity of the statement, then it doesn't matter if you prove the truth on the affirmative defense. It only matters if the plaintiff proves falsity. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So there you go. But I'm trying to explain this. I get a lot of criticism from a certain amount of people for not like citing a bunch of cases at you as if you're a bar review or a law review trying to prove my article. It's not the goal of any of this. It's to provide a basic understanding of the underlying legal structure. And so when I say that the plaintiff has to prove the falsity, and there are ways that he can do that, I talk about the minimum way that he would do that, which would be him, a party of interest, making statements asserting the falsity of the statement, or of the defamatory statements, okay? That doesn't necessarily just mean him saying that's false, but making a bunch of statements asserting the falsity in various ways is, it's firsthand testimony from an interested party. If you prove that, okay. Now, if they prove the truth of it in the affirmative defense, then their affirmative defense will win, because an affirmative defense of truth is an affirmative defense, right? Anyway, like I said, it sounds more mechanical than it is, but in each party's, for the purposes of TCPA, it's going to be each party is going to present their evidence proving the falsity for the plaintiff and the truth for the defense for the parts where they've asserted truth. Now, if their affirmative defense is rhetorical hyperbole, they will have to prove rhetorical hyperbole. They'll have to offer their evidence proving it was rhetorical hyperbole. There's going to be argument over both of those things. There will be a hearing with oral argument. There will be motion papers. There will be affidavits attached to those motion papers. There will likely be evidence attached to those affidavits. All of this is going to come together in one hearing, and then the judge will review all of it, go through the hearing minutes, and they'll go ahead and issue their ruling. Okay. But yeah, it's the plaintiff has the burden to prove falsity. The defendants have the burden to prove their affirmative defenses. Now, on TCPA, the plaintiff basically has the burden of providing clear and specific evidence to make a prima facie case. Not to be confused with clear and convincing evidence, which is an evidentiary standard that is different. Clear and specific evidence just means that the evidence is clear and it is specific to the claim that they're making, not some vague statement. That's how the court has interpreted clear and specific in R.E. Lipitsky, which is one of the most recent TCPA rulings, if not the only one, from the Texas Supreme Court itself. Okay, but in that case, they also basically lay out that a prima facie case means prima facie case. There isn't some special meaning attached to that prima facie case, which means that the inferences are going to go towards the plaintiff as the non-moving party. So any inferences that will determine the weight of a value of a particular fact should fall in favor of the non-moving party or the plaintiff. Now, I'm throwing a lot of words at you, but that's what it is. Okay? So at this Funimation thing, Ty is going to have to present evidence, clear and convincing evidence, that he has a prima facie case for defamation, tortious interference with business relations, and conspiracy. He'll have to go through each of the elements of those and provide the evidence linking to those that he believes to be correct. Now, when he does that, every inference goes to him on that. Now, the defense has to provide, I believe, clear and convincing evidence of their affirmative defense. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, if they have that increased standard. I almost feel like they do, because the inferences go to the plaintiff. So if they do have to do that, then they have to provide a higher standard of evidence for their affirmative defenses. But it's kind of weird how that works out, because an affirmative defense of truth being proven necessarily is proven to a higher standard than the falsity, right? If I give you facts and evidence that says that this statement is false, I wasn't there, whatever, I give you a list of things, and then you provide your affirmative defense that it was true, you've necessarily proven to a higher standard than me that your affirmative defense is true, or of truth, makes the statement truthful. There you go. Okay? I hope that makes sense. It's kind of weird. It's a lot of structure to think through. So, hope that helps. Jack White says, Nick, please ooh-woo for me. Ooh-woo. ANF007 says, your lateness came in handy for me tonight. Something you will never hear again. Training for a half marathon, but I timed it wrong when I increased my mileage. Put this towards some good whiskey. Hey, good luck towards that half marathon.
I did a full marathon 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago now. Brutal. 3 years ago? I don't even remember. 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago I did a full marathon. And then the next year I was allergic to heat, so I haven't done one again. Chuck Mung says, raise GoFundMe to 250K. Once it hits, double down all the way up to 500,000. Nah, I did the 300,000. I like the 300,000.
Drago
says, I just wanted to thank you for the bourbon suggestions. Also really enjoy your shows. Keep being awesome. Hey, thank you. Mr. DJ Fly Eye says, could the same discrepancy be said Rooster Teeth as well? No, Rooster Teeth's statement is much better. Much better. They didn't say anything about an investigation or anything. They just said they were terminating Vic. Might depend on what's in their contract. Sasamune says, what you're drinking tonight? Lafroig after that nasty gin. I'm having a lovely wind spritzer. Happy America Day to you when it happened. I don't know. Thanks. Among Stripper, thanks for donation. God of Plague says, I'm at work, so just Coke for me, Sharkman. Among Stripper, thanks for the donation. Drunken Ranger says, Nick made the mistake of getting Bacardi Black today. Oh, yeah. I'll just tell you, yeah, I'm not a big fan of liquor that is sung about by 19-year-old rappers. So there you go. Middles Irving says, great Freudian slip by lawyer. Kai Whitwell, thank you for the donation. Brian W. says, I would support Funimation if they instead said, whilst our investigation of these allegations was inconclusive, we have chosen to fire Vic as it is our right to do so, even without cause. Could they fire him without cause? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure. They had a contract that said they may terminate that contract for cause. Now in Texas, they should be able to. Well, Texas is an at-will state. But if you're an independent contractor, you might have to terminate them within the bounds of their contract. Funimation's on weird ground with this one. They really are. They're walking precariously. I think it shows why. Dominic Alexander says, I turned 21 today. Happy birthday. Any good recommendations for a first drink? Thanks for all the great content, Nick. So many recommendations for a first drink. Which one to go with? And just do it easy, man. Get some Lagavulin 16. Take your time with it. Gamer Hands Jr. says, I just spent $5 on the GoFundMe. Here's my shekkies, man. Hey, thank you. Asphyxiation says, the gift box has arrived. Oh, glorious big nose egg. Ooh. I'll go get it. Stoked Gamer says, these voices though, I can't even. Thanks, buddy. Bad Dragonite says, Mississippi just banned calling any vegetable-based product burgers, which has sparked lawsuits. We're taking the fight to the vegans, I guess. Good. Good. Raycoon86 says, your accents are priceless. Tonight's stream was a lot of fun. Thanks for all the laughs. Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Milos Irving says, press S to spit roast Vasquez. Julio Santoyo says, Power was injured, not Hammer. Milos Irving says, present your badge, Nick. Milos Irving says, and he wanted revenge because she made him tongue punch her fart box. Addie M says, I got giddy AF when Edgeworth went after her. DCV Titan says, Nick, you were supposed to show Will the collection of Cody's photos. I didn't want to do that. Blink Your Eyes 1400 says, Edgeworth gay confirmed. S Cybertaz says, it's like that Nickelback song, Photograph. Look at this monograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Gave 50 to the GoFundMe. 50 more after Gen Con. Hey, thank you so much. Austin Heartless says rescheduled and all the gay. Cesario JPN says, what do you think about Harmony Gold renewing Robotech and Macross? Fans being furious? Whole legal backstory alone on this mess is worth a look. I know. That's because Harmony Gold sucks at dealing with that property. So renewing it sucks. Japan renewing it with them sucks. Everything about that sucks. Mythos Irving says, so basically on the threat of perjury, I say it's false. Now it shifts to them to prove it. I mean, it's a little more detailed than that. You have to provide some statements that would,
You have to assert facts that would allege the falsehood of the statement. Yeah, you can't just say it's false. You have to tell them why it's false. Does that make sense? Ralph, thanks for the donations. And Andrew War Snowbird says, allergic to heat yet stays in the kitchen. Well, I like cooking. I like cooking. There you go. There you go, guys. That's the end of the chats. And we're going to be at the end of the show. I'm going to end it. It's a little shorter tonight, but that's okay. Okay. Just because it's a little shorter. Just tonight. It's just shorter tonight. It'll be longer tomorrow. Monday, probably. I don't think anything's going to happen tomorrow that's going to have me doing a show tomorrow. Monday we'll have a show. Not sure what the topic's going to be because there may be some interesting stuff in Vic's case. Let me suggest that some point in the very near future, there's only a couple days left for Earthworm Jim, and I'm going to do one more show with Doug. One more final push for Doug on Earthworm Jim. If you guys already bought it, I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that very much. And you certainly, don't have to buy another, but we'll try and find a good topic. We're not just going to shill the Earthworm Jim. We'll try and find a good topic for discussion with you guys. But we will have Doug one more time to push his GoFundMe as he goes into the closeout days. He has potential with that GoFundMe to really pump it up in these last hours. And I want to make sure and get that back to. Come on, short round. I want to make sure and get that get whatever support we can get for Doug. Okay, because Doug's a good guy. I like him very much. I know some people don't like him, and that's fine. That's fine. But I do. We have good discussions, and I want to see independent projects succeed, especially one as beloved as Earthworm Jim. So, all right, guys. But other than that, we'll find some other good shows for you. Other good shows. I've invited the Pot Brothers, the Texas lawyers, who do Shut the F Up Friday. I've invited them on the show. I'll let you know when we have some. Hopefully we can get them on because I think they'll be great. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Oh, wait. We got to get that outro, right? We got that outro playing. Thanks for joining me tonight. I will be on twitch.tv/Rekieta Law in a little bit. I'm going to grab some food. It'll start before 2 a.m. But somewhere a little bit before 2 a.m., which is in 27 minutes. So come hang out on Twitch. Very relaxed. I'm probably going to play some Chaos Bane or Risk of Rain 2. And I haven't decided which one. Risk of Rain 2, it's going to be painful. But yeah, we'll be doing that. So anyway, great to see y'all tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Talk to you soon. Peace. Peace.
His lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of that frog. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear lawsplaining tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lawsplaining tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the thought better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now.